Okay guys, welcome back. This is class number 4, yes. We are continuing with the unit number 2. Now we are going to talk about review simple past and compare it to past continuous. This is a new subject, maybe not new for some of you, yes, but we are going to do it again anyway. Right? Simple past is the review. We've seen it in the classes before. In Unit 1, we talk about simple past. So simple past, remember, is a finished action in the past. There is no continuation, right? For example, I traveled to London last year. So I traveled to London last year. That is the time that is set in the past that is finished. There is no continuation for the present, right? So that's why simple past is really important to refer when it happened. So every time you think about simple past, yeah, most of the time you know the answer for when, right? If I say I traveled to London last year, when? Last year, right? So I have the answer for this one in the simple past. Again, simple past are the ones that we have auxiliary, not auxiliary, we have the ED format, which is regular form. Yes, this is a regular verb, okay? And we also have irregular verbs. Remember, we studied in Unit 1. So if you don't remember them, you have to go and do a quick study on page 59 that talks about irregular verbs, okay? And also we have a series of finished past actions for the simple past. For example, the rain started in the early hours of the morning, right? So I know that in that period, in the early hours in the morning, the rain, chuva, yes, started. So we also can use simple past in this way, right? Again, started is a regular verb. Look at this, ed form. So irregular verbs you have, again, go to page 59 and check them, okay? All right, just a quick review of this. What else can I say about this study? Again, time expressions, very important in the simple past. For example, one here very quickly, yesterday, yes. So if you see this in a sentence, you know that refers to the simple past structure. When I have an year, for example, in 1977, okay, this preposition here in represents that I'm going to use some structure in the past form. We also have words like last, right? Last, I used there, last year, last month, last weekend, last something, yes, so I have an extra information here for last, yes, and also I have this one here which is called ago, also refers to something in the past. For example, 3, then I can say 3 days ago, 3 years ago, or anything that refers to time, yes, and I can use this for the simple past, okay? So time expressions of time are important. Time expressions, okay? So remember that they are going to be connected with the simple past. Okay guys, now moving on to past continuous. Here the past continuous is a bit different from the simple past because in this situation we have a progressive action, right? So actions in progress that at a specific past time. How do I know it's an action in progress? By using these verbs here with ing, all right? I've already put it here, so I'm going to have always a verb with ing. I also am going to have verb to be here, right? I put an example. Rescue helicopters were flying over the areas day and night. So I have here verb to be in the past. I have the verb fly with ing. It's a progress action. And I have when it's happening this situation. That a specific time in the past. Okay? Another one is a series of past actions in progress. They were looking for survivors. So some actions that were happening in the past, again, I have the to be in the past, and I have verb look with ing. So I have an action that is in progress in the past. Or temporary actions or situations. I have here, for example, my sister was crying. Here I have the verb cry with ing form. It's a temporary situation because I believe that my sister will not cry forever. Yes, she will stop eventually crying. That's why it's a temporary situation or action, right? So, okay. So here in this board here, I have the structure of the past continuous. Okay. So in the first class we had in Unit 1, I put the structure of simple past. You can go back in the video and check it. Now I have here the structure for past continuous, right? So I have this verb here, was and were, for simple past. So remember for past continuous. So we have was and were. So when do I use was and were? I'm going to use was for I, he, she, or it, singular form, and we, you, and they. We are going to use were. Okay. And what I have next is a verb plus ing. This ing will give me the action, the progress action that is going to happen here in the sentence, right? I was playing, he was playing, she, it was playing, we, you, and they were going or playing somewhere, right? The important is to use ing for the past continuous, right? Very similar to present continuous. Present is a progress action in the present. For example, I am teaching you something. When you watch the video, and I mentioned something in the past. I was teaching you in that specific day. So verb to be, you use it in the past. Okay? Right. And we have the positive form, which is this one. So verb to be is positive. Now, verb to be is negative to form the negative form. I, he, she, and it, the same as that one. We, you, and they were. So wasn't, I can do contraction like this, or I can separate it then. I can also do contraction with this one here, right? The same idea, or I can do it in a separate way. I mentioned that when you separate the not, you give emphasis to the negative form, right? So if I say she was not playing in the park, I'm emphasizing not. Not is important in the sentence. This is a weak not, yes? Then when you put them together, you connect. All right? So the same as there, I have here verb plus ing. Always for past continuous in the positive, negative, and question, we have verb plus ing in this structure here. I was playing, I was going, and so on. Okay? And the last one here is the interrogative form or questions. I put here first, now the auxiliaries, yes, they come before. So verb to be works as an auxiliary verb. It comes before the subject. So was I playing? Was he playing? Was she? Was it? Something like this. Were you? Were we? Were you? Or they? And the verb with ing plus ing. So remember always like this. I put something here which is called question word. If I ask you a question, use verb to be. My answer is yes or no. Right? If I say, were you studying last weekend? Then I say, yes, I was. Were you studying last weekend? Be honest. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Okay? So if I ask you a question, starting with the auxiliary verb was and were, verb to be, yes, my answer is yes or no, right? So if I ask for you, I is the one that's going to answer. If I ask for he. If I ask it for she, and then your answer will be she. Was she studying last weekend? No, she wasn't. Yes, she was, right? So this is called short answer, yes? Short answers. So short answers are important when you're asking question with the auxiliary verb. But sometimes I don't ask a yes or no question, yes? I ask a more objective one. And then I use question words. Then I can have here any sort of question word, depending what I need. What, which, when, where, what else? You remember, yes? Why, etc., right? Then you can have any question word. Then, of course, if I say, what were you playing last weekend, then you tell me what exactly you were playing. So I was playing football, I was playing soccer, yes? It's not a yes or no question anymore, right? So, so I can have auxiliary, only starting the question with auxiliary verb, was or were, but also I can start a question with these question words, okay? So depend what you want, you can start with this or start with that. So the logical order is this one comes first if I'm using question word, then this one, then the subject, and then the verb ing, and any complement that is necessary for creating your sentence. Okay, guys, we are going to use now, learn two words that we can use with the past actions, which is when and while. I have here a slide to show you how it works. For example, Tim was taking a shower. So you see that here from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. he was taking a shower. It was a long shower, 2-hour shower, yes? And then something happened in the middle. The doorbell rang. So Tim was taking a shower in that specific time, 5 to 7. In the middle of this situation, the doorbell rang. So Tim was taking a shower when the doorbell rang. So here when I use when, one action interrupts the first one or another action, okay? So when I'm using when, one action interrupts the other one, right? So Tim was having a shower, then something happened, the doorbell rang. So I'm using these words when and while to connect two ideas, okay? So in the first one I have past continuous, and the second one, second idea, I have simple past. So was taken is past continuous, and rang is simple past, okay? In the other example with while I have an example there. Tom was eating while he was watching TV. So I have two actions happening at the same time. I have Tom, he was doing something, and then at the same time he was doing something different, yes? So he was eating and he was watching TV. So two actions happening at the same time. So from 5 to 7, Tom was eating, and from 5 to 7, Tom was watching TV. That's why I have this situation there in the sentence. Tom was eating while he was watching TV. So eating and watching was happening at the same time. Okay? Different from this one. Sometimes it can be at the same time, but one action will interrupt the other action, okay? So when I'm using when, Tin was taking a shower when the doorbell rang, so one action stops the other action to happen, to continue, right? Okay, that's what you have to know about when and while. Now I have some exercises that we are going to do. Exercises from page 18. You also have extra exercises on page 98 and 95. I'll leave the answers there for you in your material in the Google Classroom. Here I have for Unit 2, Stage 2, which is our practice, exercise 2. So complete the sentence with the verbs below. Use affirmative, negative, or interrogative simple past. First of all, what you have to do is to organize the verbs. Yes, are they regular or irregular? So what do you have to do? Go to page 59, check if verb to be is regular, and you know it's regular, it's going to be there. Then you change it for the irregular form, write it down next to the word here, and then the same for bring, collapse, feel, hear, live, and see. Okay? Use a very good dictionary to get the definitions for each of them, and then do the exercise. Remember, now you have control of your time in your class. So use the best resources that it's possible to be used. So here the first example, it started raining just after we left the party, okay? And if you didn't do the activity, stop the video and do the exercise. If you have already stopped it and are here with me, then we're gonna continue. So my house during the earthquake, right? Something happened during an earthquake. Earthquake, you know, that is the movement of the earth, the ground, yes, the shaking. We studied these words before. So something happened with the houses, and I think it's collapsed. So my houses collapsed during the earth. Many houses collapsed during the earthquake, okay? So the houses were destroyed. Now here in the next one we have a question. So I have you in the middle, your camera. I want to take a photo, right? So maybe I'm asking you if you have your camera, if you bring it, then the question, remember, did you bring your camera? I'm using the auxiliary verb did because did represents the past in this sentence. Do I need to change the verb format for bring? No, because the auxiliary did already work it for me in this way, right? Number 3, Julia, cars buried in the mud on her street. So Julia did or saw something there, right? Yes, so Julia saw cars buried in the mud in her street. Remember what is buried? Yes, under the earth. When something goes under, it's buried. I'm sorry, what you said, it's about listening. So the word there is, I didn't hear negative form because I'm saying sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Okay, for number 5, you at home the day of the landslide. So I'm asking you a question. Probably here I have the subject that follows the gap, so I need to use verb to be at the beginning in the past, right? Were you at home the day of the landslide? And the last one, the earthquake because we were too far away. So we didn't, negative, yes, we didn't feel the earthquake because we were too far away, right? We were very distant, so we didn't feel, right? So the first thing that you have to do in this exercise is study the verbs, okay? So see if they are regular or irregular. Sometimes I'm going to use an auxiliary verb here, and I don't need like this one here, did and bring, yes? But it's good to know the format of the verb before you do the exercise. So that's why I said go to page 59, and then you check if it's regular or irregular, and then work with the vocabularies in the exercise. Next one, we have here now exercise related to past continuous. Remember, past continuous is an action, a progress action in the past. So here we have an example. Rescue workers were helping the climbers on the cliff, right? I have the verb help. What I have to do? Understand that the subject is plural. That's why I'm using were instead of was. I have two ways to use here, was or were, but I'm going to use the one that's related to the subject. Here is plural, were. So, and then the complement is help with ing, right? So, number one, a lot of people. Oh, by the way, now is the moment you stop the video and do the exercise, right? So don't wait for me. Be independent. Do the exercise beforehand and then correct with me when you finish, okay? A lot of people. Then here, singular or plural? Yes, plural, yes. So were sleeping. If you did like this, then you're right. We're sleeping in the streets after the avalanche, okay? People, plural of person, so more than one. That's why I'm using were. Number two, I the party, so I left. So the word here is enjoy, and I'm going to use it in the negative form. It was boring, so I wasn't enjoying the party. So I left. So I decided to go home. Okay, singular, I. That's why I'm using was. Number three, I called you, but you didn't answer. A shower. Okay, so something happened. I called you. Yes, I phoned you. I sent or I spoke to you, and something happened. So what is this? Was taking a shower. This verb here, take, connects with the word shower. Yes, and remember, I singular, was ing form. Take is one of those verbs that finish with e. Then I don't need to, I have to remove e and add ing. Okay, so verb take is one of the exceptions, the variations we have. Number four, it's a question. Your brother in the school concert last night. So here we are studying past continuous. We know that we are going to use was or were. Then I need to analyze your brother. Your brother is singular or plural? If it's singular, was. If it's plural, were. So your brother singular, was, and then I have to put sing with ing form. Okay? All right? Easy peasy. Number five, people, the tsunami, so thousands died. So negative form, and the verb is expect. So people, is it singular or plural? Plural, yes. One person, two or more people. So I know that I need to use were. So in the negative form, they weren't expecting, right? Number six, a question. You, and I know that you is plural. So I need to use here were. And then I need to get the verb and transform it to ing form. Okay? So were you doing... Oops, one more. Were you doing your English homework at 9 p.m. last night? Okay? I don't think this one is difficult. You just need to practice a bit more. So you have more exercise on page 18 in your book. And also you have exercise in your workbook on page 98 and 99. I'm also putting more exercises in Google Class. So check it, okay? Some of them may be with some points added to that or just for practicing, okay? Okay, guys, I hope you liked the class, right? Keep doing the exercises and I hope to see you soon. See you next class. Bye-bye.